Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Sharp Sports Media. And I know, it's been a little bit, but we've gotten situated here at school. We're starting to do the podcast again. I know it's been a little bit. It's been 2 weeks. We had Memorial Day off, so that'll be coming to you Monday. But we're getting back in the grind of doing videos. I had to make sure I was ready for school, senior year. Got to get ready with classes. Had a little class switcheroo. That was the first time for that, So we had to get situated, and it took a little while longer than I wanted to. But we are back. The radio show is going to be coming back soon, so that'll add another component to this channel, another place you can find me and listen to me. But let's get back. I am so excited to be back creating videos. And the New York Mets this past week, they took 2 of 3 from the Pittsburgh Pirates, 2 in the doubleheader with Chris Bassitt going strong, and then Jacob deGrom in the second half. Both big wins as they lost the first game, which gave you a little scare as then they lost 3-0, and they got pounced 8-2. Come back with the Bassitt win of 5-1, a 5-1 victory, and Bassitt was very strong. And then Jacob deGrom doing Jacob deGrom things, and a 10-0 win in the second game of a doubleheader to give the Mets the series win. And tomorrow they will be facing the Miami Marlins at 6:40 in Miami. But standings wise, you're still now with the doubleheader. The Mets are only a half a game up. Before the doubleheader, obviously, the Braves tied the Mets, and they were tied for first place in the NL East. But now, with the doubleheader, the Mets are a game up. And so far, again, we haven't lost first place yet. We've always been in first place. The Braves might have touched us for a bit, but we have not lost first place since April, I believe. It's been a long time. And talking just not so much about the game. I mean, the game, listen. First game, Bassitt was dominant through the first 5 innings. It started to struggle there in the later couple innings with him, but he ended up pushing through, giving you a solid outing. Bullpen was great, Bassitt only giving up 1 earned run. And then Jacob deGrom going 7 innings, just no earned runs, and was absolutely dominant. It's what Jacob deGrom is supposed to. It's funny because you say it's supposed to be, but it is the Jacob deGrom you've come accustomed to, that your jaw's on the ground every time this dude pitches. It's just masterclass. There's no words for it anymore. I mean, for crying out loud, he's already 7 starts in, sitting at a 1.66 ERA, 13.1 Ks per 9. What's the whip at .55? .55 whip, just to put that in perspective. I know it's only 7 starts, but Max Scherzer for the year has a .92. He almost has half the whip of Scherzer. Scherzer 2.26 ERA, who's also been fantastic. Speaking of Scherzer, he goes on the IR for 15 days. He's expected to come back once that's ready. And overall, I just wanted to give my thoughts on this. What's going on with this team? Because, the Braves caught us for at least a day. So, am I worried? No, I am not worried. Listen, I think the Braves catching us says more about the Braves than it does about us. We have been fantastic the entire year. We have gone out and won games the entire year. Did we have a little spud where we lost 3 games in a row? 2 to the Nationals with makes me want to puke. But still. And then 1 to the Pirates, but you're not going to win them all. You just got to keep playing, and you are playing against the teams that are not going to be good, so we have to start taking advantage. And, it sucks that we couldn't do that those 3 games, but let's move forward. Let's keep going. We got the Marlins. I think we got Pittsburgh again. We got teams still that we can beat and we can pounce on, and we need to take advantage. We can't look into the past. Pitching is still, you're still relying on your pitching. Pitching is the number one thing on this team, and it will continue to be the number one thing on this team. When you got guys like Bassitt and deGrom going hard, I know Scherzer just went on the other, he's going to come back. Carrasco's been dinged up a bit since he got back from injury, but I still trust him a bit. Taijuan Walker, still been solid. David Peterson has been a great 6th addition. You're going to get Tyler McGill back very soon. So I love this pitching staff. Edwin D is in the back end. Lugo's really started to turn it on. And Adam Ottavino has had one of the most underrated seasons for a reliever in baseball. To put it in perspective, Adam Ottavino, let me get his stats right here. He's pitched 55.2 innings, more innings than any reliever besides Trevor Williams because he started. And he's at a .99 whip with a 2.1 ERA with a 10.7 Ks per nine. He has been very solid for you. Now, the hitting, it hasn't been great with at least our main guys. Pete Alonso and Frankie Lindor have definitely struggled in September. Pete Alonso, in September, 192 batting average with a 646 OPS. And Lindor here with a 222 batting average and a 609 OPS. It's not been pretty. Pete, Keith and Ron, and they've been talking about Pete. It's been out in front a bit and not really letting the ball come through the plate too much so we can get the barrel on it. It could be in the right time to get that power swing. And Lindor's just his swing's looking a little too long. But again, people go through ups and downs in the year. You're not going to be batting the same number all the time. So it's about finding consistency. And when you're in a rut, you got to bounce back from it. So hopefully, it hasn't been too long. September, it's only 8 days, and we're only 8 days into September. So you got to hope they both turn it around. And they can. They're the biggest bats in our lineup. But we've had people step it up. Have had very good months or a couple of weeks, really. The two biggest ones before a couple of weeks ago were Jeff McNeil and Mark Canha. And now Eduardo Escobar, since coming back from injury, has been fantastic, especially from both sides, which is great because now him being the everyday starter, because Guillorme's still hurt, Beatty's out for the rest of the regular season. He's batting in 22 at-bats. He's got 10 hits, 4 runs, 3 home runs, bat .455, 500 on base, and an .864 slug for a .1364 OPS. So he's been fantastic. And before then, you had Jeff McNeil and Mark Canha really doing the damage because there's been kind of the funk that Lindor, Pete have been. There's been two guys each half of the funk that have really lifted this Mets offense. First half was Canha and McNeil. Canha hitting ropes, got a couple big home runs, especially in that Philly series. McNeil's just been getting been an on-base machine. But it's been Escobar the second half. And who would have thought James McCann? That's right, James McCann's batting 400 with a 1071 OPS. If James McCann can get going, I don't need him to bat 400. If James McCann can bat 240, 250, and just get a little bit of slugging, get that little barrel, oh my God, it changes this lineup because now you don't have a dead end in that back end of the rotation. You can get some offense there, so you're not relying on Pete and Lindor and Marte as much. You really it just opens up the offense so much. It would be such a big help. So that is a huge, huge sign, especially coming into September, that James McCann is hitting. I do think Pete and I do think Lindor are gonna get out of this funk. But pitching wise, like I've said before, it's our backbone. We're gonna get healthy. You're getting McGill back. He's gonna go to the pen. So I know people worry about the pen. Joely Rodriguez, Medina, Tommy Hunter, who I actually like. Michael Givens has not been great. That's an understatement. He's not been good at all since he's been here, traded from the Cubs. Trevor May, people are not always confident with. So I think you just got to trust the process. Listen, could the Braves catch us? Absolutely. They're a fantastic team. But I think if we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to be on top of this division. You just got to trust the process, really. I know that's hard for some Mets fans to hear, but trust the process. They've got us this far. If they do what they're supposed to do, which you have to believe they're going to do against these bad teams, they're going to end up in first place. The Braves schedule for the next couple series is going to get harder. I know they just played the Athletics and a couple bad teams, but they're playing the Mariners next. And then they got the Giants, or the Phillies, and then the Giants, and then the Phillies again. And they do have the Nationals twice in there. But those are tough series. They're not going to win all those games. You're hoping. The Phillies have played the Braves very tough this year. Almost, I think it's like the series is like 4-3 Braves. But that's almost 500 baseball. The Mariners are a playoff team. The Giants, although they're not a playoff team, they can scratch off a couple wins against you. They're a solid team. They're not a great team, but they're good. They get their wins here and there. So you're hoping that they can steal some games. You're hoping the Mariners or the Phillies can win a series or two for you. And if you take care of business by the end of October, by the end of the 162 game season, you should be looking up from up top the National League East in the second seed, getting that bye, because it is very, very important for us to get this bye. I do not want to be having to play an extra game or an extra series, excuse me. B, I don't want to have to go up with Dodgers in the first round. I really don't. I want no business of the Dodgers in the first round. Bring them to me to win the pennant. I know you're probably gonna have to go through them, but phrase them as later as possible. Plus, being the second seed, you get home field advantage. You get to line your pitchers up better. If you're lining up and you're getting, if a team has to face deGrom and Scherzer twice, I like my odds. I like those odds as a Mets fan or as a baseball fan. Have to like those odds. So let me know what your guys' opinion on this series and on the state of the Mets are coming in to September. We're going to be back on that video guide, trying to make videos for every series. We're going to try to keep up with that, I promise. Podcast coming out on Monday. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.